Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, man. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to negotiate for deals and potentially get more leads in your phone flipping business. Remember, if you can't get leads, then most likely you don't have a business. So I'm going to break down the exact strategies that I'm going to show you in this video. So if it's your first time here, my name is Hani Mohari and I help phone flippers optimize and scale their phone flipping business. I've been able to get into this business 3 years ago now. I've helped over 100 people get into the business. Some of them were actually able to quit their jobs, implement the strategy that I've been able to teach, right? If you're negotiating for deals, there's a couple of things, right? Whenever we're looking for phones or electronics, most likely you're probably using Facebook Marketplace, or you're probably using Kijiji if you're in Canada, or you're probably using OfferUps to find deals, right? So the first thing we need to understand is we need to get rejected as much possible as we can to find and get deals, right? You see, a lot of time people are just not prospecting enough, right? So what you need to do is, when I first got started, I was prospecting and I was messaging at least 50 to 100 people in a day, asking them if they're looking to sell their devices, right? You have to be persistent in the market, because at the end of the day, what you're looking for is you're looking to get rejected at least, 40 times before you get someone to say yes to you, right? This is always the goal, right? So if you're looking for something just to kind of happen to you, then it's not really gonna make sense, right? So what we're gonna do, step one is, right, make offer ups, right? Negotiate for deals as much as we can. Talk to as many people as we possibly can on the market. And typically what I'll do is, whenever I talk to sellers, I'll message someone saying, hey, I run this business, talk about what is your business, and they say you buy used, damaged iPhones, Samsungs, electronics in any condition. I will pay you cash. Would you be willing to take a lower offer, right? So here, what you're looking for, you want to filter out the messages. You want to filter out people who are going to respond back to you, right? Because you're probably going to get a bunch of messages. And all we're looking to get is, we're looking for people who are interested, right? Once someone is interested, right, then we know, okay, is he looking to sell? So what we want to find out is their motivation. Why are they actually looking to sell this device? Don't worry about the price. Don't worry about, how much you're looking to get for it. First thing you want to do is, okay, why are you looking to sell this device? Are you looking to upgrade? Maybe not. So the reason why you say you're looking to upgrade is because, let's say, for example, they're looking to sell their device, but now you can offer a trade plus cash, right? This is also another advantage as well, too. Let's say, for example, they're trying to sell a 14 Pro Max, right? And you're offering them, okay, listen, I'll buy this phone off you. Do you want to trade for a 15 Pro Max instead? Right? So now what you could do is literally just get that phone at 14 Pro Max for the same cost that you bought that 15 Pro Max, and still be able to make profit. So that's probably the best strategy I probably say is, whenever someone is looking to sell, always ask them, are they looking to trade for another device, right? Because then, let's say, for example, you bought a 15 Pro Max for, let's say, $900, right? So now that's your cost. Let's say the person is selling a 14 Pro Max, let's say, for example, $500 or $600, right? So what you could do essentially is sell this person on that 15 Pro Max at, let's say, $900, right? On a trade plus cash deal, where now you could get that 14 Pro Max for $400, right? Because your cost is going to be much lower. So that's the first strategy, right? Then what we do is we talk to the seller, right? Make as many offers as we can. We want to get rejected as much possibly we can. So once you do this process, then you're going to get a bunch of people messaging you left and right. Now, what you want to look for is the best deal, because sometimes too, you might make a lot of offer ups, but they might not be what you really want them, right? Because we don't want to get a bunch of leads and then we just get bad leads, right? So let's say, for example, you picked out 5 leads. Now you want to go meet this person now, right? And the best way to close someone is in person. You don't want to be online, going back and forth about the price. If he says 300 and you say, let's do 200, right? Go meet the person in person and find out how the interaction is, because I realize about human beings, once you meet them one to one, right, there's emotion that can be triggered, right? So now, for example, you could talk to him. The first thing you want to do whenever you meet someone is always find out who they are. Don't even talk about the product, what kind of phone it is. This is a 14 Pro Max. Why you're doing a transaction? Why you're buying a phone from this person? The first thing you want to do is understand who they are, right? We don't want to talk about ourselves. We want to understand who they are, because this is the game of negotiation. The person who talks the most is the one who loses, right? This is number one in sales, right? You got to understand this off the bat, because the more you talk about yourself, then the person is going to be like, oh, he's not really interested in me. But if you can understand the counterpart and who they are and why they're looking to sell you the device, you can win them over, and potentially they'll be like, oh, he actually has empathy, he has understanding, he actually wants to sell me this advice. So your interaction with this person can go like this. You pull up to this person. Also, too, you always want to meet at a safe location. You don't want to meet at a back alley or somewhere where it's like dangerous. You want to meet somewhere where it's safe, like a McDonald's or just the outside zone. You pull up on this person. You're checking out the phone. First thing you probably should have done was run the IMEI number. You should have asked him the IMEI number before you went to go meet the person, right? Once you've already done that, you probably asked for the baddie health and all that before that. So now you're going to meet this person, right? You're going to check out, the ear speaker. You're going to set, most of the time too, on iPhones, people are probably going to reset their phone to factory reset. So you're probably going to set up the phone. So while you're setting up the phone, this is a great opportunity to get to understand your counterpart, who they are, where they're from, what neighborhood are they from, like, what are they doing in this area? Just small little questions. And I think the best way to go about it too is always ask, do you live in the area? Which part of the city are you from? Right? Small little questions like that. Now, as you start to open up the conversation, now you can go more into their story. Okay, what made you decide to, sell this device? How long have you had it for? Things like, what high school did you go to? Right? So as you start to talk to this person, you've already sort of, you already done the job where you just get to understand who they are. And then as they start to laugh, as they start to go, now the interaction is going. So let's say, for example, you talk to this person over a call. You say, let's do 300. But now because you felt like you've actually understood this person, you've had empathy for them, they're going to be like, oh, okay, he's actually understanding me. He wants to know who I am. He's not just here just to buy a phone off me. So the first thing to do is always check the phone. Make sure the functionality is working, the Face ID, the ear speaker, right? Small little details also too. Make sure to insert your SIM card into the phone to make sure that it makes a phone call. A lot of people nowadays, they only run the IMEI number, but sometimes you find that the ear speaker on these phones, they can also be muffled, right? They can't, the speaker is not loud enough. This is another strategy most people forget is, let's say, for example, you're buying a phone and, you're running the speaker and it's very quiet. This is your ability to negotiate at a much better price now, because you could be like, oh, listen, the ear speaker is not working on this. I probably have to replace the Face ID, because as you guys know, whenever you're talking on someone on the phone, the ear speaker, the part where the phone is going on your ears, if that's low, then most likely that's a component to the Face ID, right? Whenever we're repairing the phone. So we explain that to the customer. You say, hey, listen, if this happens, then it's probably going to be an ear speaker issue. And most of the time, if you just show them that it's actually happening, they're going to trust you. So, but here you've already built rapport. You probably talked to the seller. You've told them, hey, listen, man, you've got to know who they are. And then if you just, do that, and then you tell them that if there's any issues with the phone, you tell him these things are happening. Could you do a lower price? He's going to be like, oh, okay, no worries. I'm actually just looking to get rid of this phone. I'll sell it to you as is, right? Depending on what the condition of the phone is. But if the phone is in mint condition, there's no issues, then for sure give the person their asking price, right? But always understand that in order to win anybody over in sales and whatever product you're buying or selling, it's always understanding the other person. Because if we can understand the other person, then it doesn't matter what product we're buying, we can always win them over, right? So that's a step one. Always understand who you're dealing with and who they are and why they're coming to you to sell their device, right? Another way to do it is, if you're trying to get more leads, is just, understand that you're going to have to run paid ads, right? Paid ads on Facebook, right? Test out a bunch of different campaigns. If you're struggling to generate more leads, then most likely it's because, nowadays with the new Facebook update, there's less people who are probably messaging you, because there's an algorithm now where everybody essentially has a Facebook account. So what Facebook does is they target people who have newer accounts. So those newer accounts are getting way more reaches compared to someone who's on Facebook for so many years. I realize this because now also too, what you could do is, if you were looking to essentially, let's say, for example, you bought this phone, now you want to sell it, create multiple Facebook accounts, right? Not duplicates, but different accounts where you can start publishing these accounts, right? And be able to get more offer ups and negotiate for more deals, right? So that's one way to do that. But let's say, for example, now, you want to generate, let's say you want to do a lot of B2B stuff, right? You want to get more deals, let's say wholesale, bulk, right? You're struggling because you don't know where to start. I probably say the best way to get more deals is you got to join a bunch of Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups, right? There's a lot of Facebook groups out there, but you just have to go and find these people. Like I said, it's just simple Google search. You go out there, search, local wholesalers in my area. Let's say, for example, you're in Toronto, or let's say, for example, you're in Dallas, Texas. say, local wholesalers in Dallas, Texas near me, right? Search them up, and I guarantee you will find some people. Also, too, what you could do is go to these big wholesale trade exchange events. There's a lot of wholesale trade exchange in Dubai, different parts of the world, right? There where a lot of people go to these places. You don't even have to go to them. You can actually just go online and search up, a trade show for phones, wholesale. There's one I think called BSM Exchange or something like that, where a lot of wholesalers go to these exchanges, right? Where they go and meet a bunch of different people, right? They talk. You can literally just go on the YouTube channel and watch those exact people. They're probably on there. People from China, Texas, Phoenix, right? Different parts of the world where they're wholesale company. They just focus on working with B2B. So that's another way to do it. Because at the end of the day, man, if you're just struggling to get leads, right, understand that you're most likely not doing the law of 100. What is the law of 100? You're not posting enough content, right? You're not doing one post a day. Because here's the thing. If people don't know who we are, they're not going to trust us. They're not going to want to buy our product or service. So we got to promote about who we are, right? At the end of the day, if we're not talking about our product or service or about our storytelling ability, like why should people come to us compared to someone else that's in the same business as you? What makes you different? What is your value proposition? What is it that you do that's different? And here's a simple hack to do this. Literally go out there, right? Buy your first or second phone, right? Meet a stranger, and all you got to do, pull out your phone, right? And just, take a picture of this person and just say, hey, we just bought Johnny's phone. We paid cash right here. And let's say you're in Houston, Texas. Let us know if you're looking to sell more devices. We'll pay cash for them. Right there, you just made a live interaction with this person. And you say you just bought this phone. And also, too, the way SEO works is if you just create hashtags around that product, around the area, you could target those same people, right? And then what you could do is you could take that same post and run an ad campaign doing that as well, too. So there's different ways to really play it when it comes to lead generation, right? So if you do the law of 100, post 100 content a day, every single day, post one piece of content, also too, talk to your customers, man. Here's the thing. If you're not talking to your customers every single day, then most likely, you're probably missing out on so many leads. Most people make this mistake of chasing new leads. What you need to do is go after your old leads, the leads that are already there, because those new leads, you're going to probably go and have to spend money to get those new leads. But if you go after your old leads, these are already people in your CRM. Here's the thing. If you don't have a CRM, if you don't have a customer relationship management tool where you can literally function all your customers in one database, most likely you're probably doing it one by one manually. This is going to burn you out long term. So what you need to do is get a CRM system, right, where you can literally have all your customers in one database. You can run automations. Let's say, for example, you met 10 customers. These 10 customers now, you can potentially follow up with them every 30 days, right? Because here's the thing. People are probably going through life. So how do you stay on top of their mind where you just keep following up with them every, let's say, 30 days or every, 20 days, right? Just seeing if they're looking to sell you more devices. Because here's the thing. If you just meet them one time and you don't follow up with them, how are they going to touch bases with you? So that's your job. You as the seller or the buyer, you have to stay in touch with your customers, right? And I believe it's very tough to do that all manually. You have to have some type of automation where you could just send out to your list of people. If you got 200 people, you can literally create an email list, right? Create an email list, put all those people inside, and now, once a month, twice a month, just follow up with those customers. Say, hey, John, just checking. Are you still looking to sell more devices? We're still looking to buy iPhones, Samsung, laptops. Just let me know. We're still in the market to buy. And if they say not right now, I'll let you know. No problem, right? You just keep doing that. Because here's the thing about the iPhone market. There's a cycle, right? Every year, people are looking to upgrade. Right now, it's a 17 coming out. People are looking to sell their 14s and 15s to go to the 17. So this is your great opportunity before the new year kicks in to be ahead, right? And so if you don't have a strategy in place, right? What is your lead gen strategy? What is your marketing strategy, right? What is your system? What are your automations? So at every stage, as we start to prospect for more leads and try to find customers, we have to have a strategy to what we're doing, right? And so understanding that there's different ways to do it in this business, but if you don't have a way to just at least, prospect for clients, and I find the best way to do this is just going after, your old leads. You have leads there, but you're probably trying to find new leads instead of just going after your old leads. And that's the best way to essentially, get more business and just keep your pipeline full, right? So every week, let's say by Sunday, you're preparing for the week. You got to look at your pipeline. Okay, so now let's say you got 100 customers. Okay, now you're gonna say, I'm gonna follow up with John, Max, and David this week, right, to see if they're looking to sell me more devices. So now what you're doing is you're stacking your pipeline to know that, okay, by Monday comes, I'm gonna follow up with this John. By Tuesday, I'm gonna follow up with this person. So every time we're doing this, we're creating a habit for ourselves where we know that, okay, every time we get a new customer in, we're going to treat them like a with good respect. We're going to treat them like they're actual human beings. We're going to follow up with them so we don't forget about them, right? And that's exactly how to negotiate and find more deals, man. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. I'm out.